Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Real Life Solutions with Uncle T. I want to talk to you tonight about something that I think a lot of people don't talk about because it's so personal and so private. Have you ever had to take care or care for someone who may have had cancer, kidney failure, maybe on dialysis, someone with dementia or Alzheimer's, or sarcoidosis, or someone who's a diabetic, heart disease, or maybe you're dealing with someone who has disabilities that you're responsible for? It's almost a taboo not to talk about how you really feel. And there's some things been on my mind because me personally, I've taken care of my brother who has stage 4 cancer, and that was devastating for me. My mom took care of my father who had mesothelioma, took care of him for well over 15 years. And he was cancer-free for over 12 years. He passed away with pneumonia. And, people don't talk about these things. My wife, everybody know Joyful Designs. My wife, she's had sarcoidosis for many years. And I think we don't have someone a lot of times to talk to about how you really feel about people who go through, because you don't want to insult the person you're caring for, but you want to be able to express yourself, but you don't know how. There are a lot of times that people are tired, people need a breather, or it just depends on the situation. It depends on what you're going through. It depends on the extent. It depends on the person. A lot of times people are in married couples, per se. Married couples get divorces behind chronic illness. You know that a serious illness can change the whole dynamics of a family. And that's one of the things I want to talk about tonight. And I don't expect everybody to understand what I'm saying. You have had to have went through something like this to understand what I'm talking about. And there are some people right now have been looking for groups and trying to connect with someone that they can talk to about their emotions, about their feelings, about how they feel. Me personally, my wife had sarcoidosis way back in, I think, 2002, and here recently she had surgery and all these things started happening with her lungs, her body, things of that nature, and it really takes you for a tailspin. A lot of times you know what to do and you know how to be there for your spouse, but a lot of times your whole world just changed. I know that some people are dealing with people who have cancer, kidney failure, dialysis, things of this nature, people who have had to put their parents in nursing homes. I was a Navy combat corpsman. So part-time jobs, I used to work in nursing homes, and I met a lot of good people in the nursing home facilities, right? So many times people would come to the nursing home and they would see that they felt so guilty for putting their parents in a nursing home that they felt ashamed. And so many people did not know how to admit it was overbearing. It was too much for me to deal with. And they feel guilty because they could not take care of a parent at home and work and take care of their needs. It just got to be too much. And so many times people have all these emotions bottled up inside. They asking God, please take away these emotions. And so many times, that the roles have changed in relationships. Roles change from, parents to children. Children are now responsible for their parents. There is financial strain. Married couples, there are changes in intimacy, emotional changes for both partners, that a lot of time people have even divorced because of serious illness. There has been research studies show that women were more likely to stay with their male spouse during times of traumatic, chronic, or serious illness. Where men, it was like a 3%. It wasn't very high, but it was like the stats said that men were more likely to put their wives to divorce. Say this: they would divorce their wives if their wives were become terminally ill or seriously ill, and the women would stay to the end with their husbands. So many times you put on a face when you're going through, a lot of times, I know me personally, there could be turmoil going on inside of me. There could be a tornado, a flood, a hurricane going on inside, and you would never know. A lot of times people don't understand that. People will say, how are you doing? How's everything going? You okay? And we always say, yeah, hey, everything's great, man. Everything is great. Hey, it's best to be expected, And somehow when you're alone, not me per se. I mean, I don't want anyone to say, oh, wow, Joy's husband is feeling this way. No, I've been around enough people, and I want to kind of be an advocate or a spokesman to say some things that maybe people are thinking, but they just can't say it. And a lot of times people want to say, man, I'm hurting. Sometimes people want to say, I've been praying to God. I've been praying to God that everything would just change, and I believe in God. I have faith, and I believe that God will resurrect them. And they go on and on and on, and there was no change. That God felt best. My wife had told me that, when a person is in pain and a person is suffering, we want to keep them here. And we do. We'll pray to God, Lord, please, save their lives, spare their life, heal them, raise them up from their bed, that they may walk and be healed. But when a person is in pain and a person is suffering, your prayer is not going to supersede that person's prayer. If that person is saying, Lord, I'm ready to come home, please, I'm in so much pain right now, or I don't want to live this life no more like this, I'm a burden to people and things of this nature, Lord, I want to come home. And then when they expire and go home, we say, Lord, why? And that's why we always say God knew best for that situation. But I don't want to get off subject because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole with that. But what I want to talk about even tonight is that I want to talk about the negative things that how serious sickness changes the family forever, the unspoken truth about caregivers who take care of their spouses, their mother, father. Have you ever taken care of a grandparent, uncle, aunt, or even taken care of your children who may be paralyzed, may have, disabilities? And people don't understand how traumatic it can be on a caregiver having to take care of someone, even though you love your child, you love the person, you just love them. But we're still human. You're still human, and you have emotions that you just be like, I just need a break. And trust me, I did not know how to deal. I didn't know what sarcoidosis was with my wife. I have no idea. I did research and come to find out this is a rare disease that nobody knew about, but mainly it affects African American women. I found that very interesting. I just want to talk to people tonight that you may be going through something that you be like, T, you hitting it dead on the money, man. You hitting it dead on the money. It's things we can't talk about because we don't want to seem like we don't love them. We don't want to seem or come across like they're a burden to us. And you don't want to use the word burden, but it's just like, man, I just need a break. I just need a break. I need a vacation. And it's like you get very irritated. You be on edge all the time. Every little thing get on your nerves. You don't want to hear nothing. You don't want to hear no bad news. You don't want to hear about no money issues. You don't want to hear about no drama with nobody. You just have these emotions that you don't know what to do with. Now, I want to talk about, the negative aspects, how sickness can actually affect, the negative aspects of a life of a person who's the caregiver, who's taking care of a person who may be sick. The law office of Colgan and Associates states that 1/4 of marriages with 6 spouses will end in divorce. And you know what the problem is that many couples are torn between until death do us apart or through sickness and health. People struggle with that. And I can understand that you vow to stay with somebody through sickness and health, through death do us apart, and people don't know what to do. And that's why you find that some people, because they can't deal with some of the stress, that they put their loved ones in a nursing home and whatnot because they just can't deal with it, or they just can't deal with it anymore, and it's become so hard that it is a struggle. Here's some key ways a serious illness can affect a marriage or a relationship. One is the caregiving burden. I did a little research on this because I've dealt with sick people all my life. I was a combat veteran. I've seen people get blown up. I've seen people lose their limbs. I've worked in nursing homes where there's men that I used to take care of, people who have expired that I was pretty tight with, taking care of loved ones. I grew up as a child around the old folks. If anybody know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying when I say the old folks. That, the old folks that, they were like your grandparents, your old aunt. There was the old guys that hang in the neighborhood, and some of these guys that probably never went past the 7th grade. But, they had a hidden wisdom that just by living on the planet long enough, you wise up. And they had a hidden wisdom that they spoke on. And some of the things that I can hear in the back of my mind, some of the things that some of these people have said still resonate with me. When you're dealing with a caregiving burden, the healthy spouse takes on the role of a primary caregiver, leading to mental and physical exhaustion. That we don't want to admit that we can get physically and mentally exhausted, and you can have feelings of being very overwhelmed. A lot of times people don't want to admit the fact that they are overwhelmed. And they say, oh, I got this, I got this. We good. When you're going through, sometimes the person that you're taking care of get on your nerves. You want to just kick them out the back door. It's just a love dynamic that you have for your children, loved ones, parents, whoever it is that you're dealing with. You love them so much and you want to give them the best care. But a lot of time people don't understand the toll that it takes on the person who is giving the care, who's washing them up, making sure their clothes are straight, making sure their meals are taken care of, making sure that they're at their doctor's appointments, and making sure that everything is on point. And even if it's not to that extreme, even if someone has a disease, just has a disease, and that you have to step in and take care of them, after a certain point, it does become a change in your life, because you are now stepping into another role. Let's say if you came home from work, your wife usually did the cooking or whatnot. Guess what? You're going to be doing the cooking now. You're going to have to not only go to work, you're going to have to be doing the cooking. You may be doing the laundry. You may be doing the dishes. You may be getting the kids' clothes ironed for school. You may be taking over all these roles. And a lot of time, people think everything is okay because you don't say anything. Most people who take care of people who are sick or people who have any type of disease, and they depend on you for their care and their support. People don't understand, because you don't say anything and you always smiling and waving at everybody and say, hey, what's going on? Everybody doing okay? You looking good. You look like you got it under control. A lot of times we try to be strong, but sometimes we just want to exhale. We just want to wish I could just go to the spa. I wish I could just go get a good massage, a good facial, or just, to help to relax. Some people, go get a 6-pack. Some people go get some vodka and juice, just to cope. Because it's tough, man. It's tough. We can't act like that we're just these gladiators. It's hard when it's your loved ones. When you see day in and day out, you have a relationship, it's your family. And I urge everyone, if you have someone who's the caregiver and taking care of somebody, give them a break. Do something nice for them. Let them take a day to go get a good back massage somewhere. Go get their nails and their feet done. Give someone go to the barber shop. Give them a good haircut and a shave. And the next thing I want to talk about is marriages and relationships is loss of intimacy. Physical limitations due to illness can impact sexual intimacy, and overall closeness. That will a lot of times lead to divorce, because we know people's body change. People's body and their structures change. It depends on whatever they're going through. And some people say, well, that's being a little selfish. Your wife or your husband has this and this and that, and you complaining about they can't be sexual and this and this and this and that. There are people who are not ready for the dynamics of marriage, because when you got married, everything was great. You wouldn't have saw this coming nowhere. All of a sudden, down the road, boom, illness. Took one of you out, take one of you down, and now your whole world changed. You used to be intimate. Y'all used to be the lovey-dovey couple. Now all of a sudden, it's not like that anymore. Now what do? Do you go cheat? Do you step out? Do you have a girl on the side? Do you have what they call a side chick, side dude? What do you do? Or do you say through sickness and in health? This is what people have to deal with, and people feel guilty for doing this. Financial stress, medical bills, potential loss of income, where people may lose income. One spouse may have been making $7,500, 6 figures a year. Now all of a sudden, if they get sick, that's gone. Now everything is on you, that you have to take care of everything. Emotional distress. Both parties may experience anxiety, depression, fear, especially if you see your spouse or a loved one getting worse and you're concerned. What's going on? These are things we need to talk about, y'all. This is things we need to talk about. I don't expect everybody to understand what I'm saying. And I expect half of the people not to listen to this whole message. But I'm telling you, sooner or later, you're going to experience this when you're dealing with your parents, grandparents, or a loved one or a spouse or somebody. Role changes. And like I said earlier, there are role changes in the relationship, and everything can shift. Everything can shift just like that. And there can be communication challenges, difficulties discussing certain subjects, topics related to the illness or the fears can further exacerbate the marital anxiety. A lot of these things happen. Social isolation. Couples may withdraw from social activities due to illness, impacting connection with friends and family. A lot of times you may see people who used to be at church all the time. You don't see them that much. And a lot of times people may not even notice that they weren't there if you're in the mega church. But if you're in a very small church, people may notice and people may know that something's going on. Now, for us having an illness, for the positive aspects, there can be an increased appreciation. Because a serious illness can sometimes lead to a deeper appreciation and can bring both partners closer together. So now we're fighting this thing together. It's not you by yourself and you going through this thing by yourself. No, I'm here with you. Now that's going to strengthen the bond. Overcoming challenges together can strengthen the couple's bond and resilience. That means that when we're going through, we're going to go through together. We're going to figure this thing out. Okay. And that's going to lead to open communication, addressing concerns and needs of both parties, getting through this difficult time. That's what marriage is all about. That's what relationships is all about. We're going to prioritize self-care. Like I was saying before, take care of your physical and your emotional support. If you need to get away, you need to go to the gym, you need to go to the track, you need to go get on the treadmill, do what you need to do. If you got to go, like myself, I have a whirlpool tub. So if I just want to get in the tub, get in the whirlpool, I just want to just relax in some nice hot water, and just chill, I could do so. Whatever it takes for you to take care of your mental and physical well-being, do that. And lastly, we need to set realistic expectations, understanding the relationship may need to adapt to the new reality. And what I'm saying is that, like I said before, a fourth of people get a divorce because they can't deal with the fact of the reality that is just taking place in their life. We've never experienced this before. Now something terrible has happened, and maybe it may be something that you have to live with the rest of your life. I'm a man of God. I believe that my wife is going to be healed from sarcoidosis. But you know what? At the same time, while I'm waiting on God to do what he needs to do, I'm definitely have in my mind, I know that the reality she has sarcoids. And whatever comes along with that, I'm going to be there for her. I'm going to be there for her, make sure if she needs me to take her to an appointment, I'll be there to take them. If she needs me to do anything for her, it's going to be done, because I have adjusted my life to make sure she's well taken care of, I'm taken care of. And if I need to do whatever, I look at my schedule, calendar, set up things, do what I need to do. But what I wanted to do was just talk to some people tonight, to just talk about something that most people don't talk about, is being a caregiver for someone who is sick. And people do not know how, a caregiver feels, because it's hurtful. People don't know the emotional impact when you are married to someone. And I've talked to other people who have been through stuff. Talking to someone who's married and you have a spouse, when you got married, y'all were great. Everybody was okay. Everybody's healed, no sickness, no nothing. And then when you see something happen to that loved one, it reaches out and grabs you. It reaches out and grabs you, and it gets your attention. And your whole mentality, your whole view changes about how you look at life, how you look at everything now. Everything changes. If you guys got questions, you want to reach out, if there's things you want to talk about, hey, don't hesitate to send me an email, shoot it in the comments, because this is real life solutions. This is everyday stuff. This is what my channel is all about, real life solutions and real stuff that people go through. And a lot of times, like I said, I'm not sure how other ethnic groups deal with stuff or cultures. I know a lot of times in our Black community, we don't talk about these things. We just do it. I took care of mama. I took care of daddy. I took care of grandma, and I did this and I did that, and I just handled my business. But a lot of times people didn't understand what that person was going through who was taking care of everybody. Nobody understood that. And that person was under tremendous amount of pressure and weight. And that's the person that I'm really talking about tonight, is that I want everyone to, if you have someone in your family who is taking care of someone, I don't care if they're taking care of someone with just disabilities, maybe it be a child, maybe it be someone who is autistic, or that may need you to bathe them and take care of them like they're a child, a little baby. Give them some help. Do something nice for them. Look in on them sometime, because trust me, a lot of people feel like this is my burden, this is my weight, this is my situation. I'm not going to ask anybody for help. And sometimes people are so proud, they won't ask for help. They won't say nothing. They won't say anything. They'll just make you think everything is cool. I got this. Everything is all right. But deep down inside, they wish they had someone to help them, because things get tough sometimes. Hey, this is Uncle T, and I hope there was something that I said. Maybe I stirred up something inside of you that will make you talk about some of the things you go through, because I would really like to know some of the things people go through as being a caregiver, taking care of someone, because it's something I've done pretty much most all my life. Until we talk again, y'all have a great night. Uncle T is out.